The next important concept while finding the domain of a function is fractional part of a function. Take the heading fractional part of a function. Fractional part of a function is denoted like this type: y equals to or f of x equals to, in between curly brackets we'll keep x. So fractional part of a function is denoted like this type, and the definition of this one is C. So it gives the fractional part of a number. If x is a number, if x is a real number, then fractional part of x means it gives fractional part of a particular number. Means if x equals to 2.31, that implies fractional part of x equals to 0.31. If x equals to 0.14, then fractional part of x equals to 0.14. If x equals to 3, then fractional part of x equals to 0. Because we know that 3 can be written as 3.0. So that's why the fractional part is 0. And I will give one more example. X equals to minus 2. Here also fractional part is equals to 0. So that is the denotion of fractional part of a function. Means when you are giving some input, it extracts only fractional part. That function is known as fractional part of a function. Students, we know one point: in generally every number can be expressed as the integral part plus fractional part. So if you are taking the example of 2.31, 2.31 can be expressed as 2 plus 0.31. So then only it is 2.31. So that means we can generalize it like this. See, in generally a number x can be written as integral part plus fractional part. So just now we saw the denotion for fractional part is in between the curly brackets. Now if x is a number, then that number can be written as greatest integer function of x. Greatest integer function of x is what? Always an integer plus fractional part. Here we have example: 2.31 can be written as 2 plus 0.31. So 2 is nothing but x of 2, and x that can be written as step x. And 0.31 is the decimal part, that is the fractional part. We can write like this. So that's why I say every number can be expressed as an integer plus fractional part. So now every number can be expressed as an integer plus fractional part. Means from this we can write different notations. X minus step x can be written as fractional part of x, or x minus fractional part of x can be written as step x. So we suggest students to remember notations. Any one if you remember, we can write all. X equals to step x plus fractional part of x means x minus step x equals to fractional part of x. So note down up. I will say fractional part of a negative real number. For suppose if you have something like this type, we want fractional part of minus 2.34. If you think that it is 0.34, then it is absolutely wrong. Fractional part of negative is totally different. Now fractional part of minus 2.34, we can apply the formula just now we saw. Fractional part of x can be written as x minus step of x. That is equals to here x means this whole content, minus 2.34 minus step of minus 2.34. This is equals to minus 2.34, and we know that step of minus 2.34 is minus 3. So then this is what? Minus of minus plus 3. 3 minus 2.34. 3 minus 2.34 is how much? 0.66. How much? 66. That is the fractional part. Fractional part of a negative means it is 2.34, then straight away that is 0.34. minus 2.34 means that is always 0.66. Now students, you tell me what is the fractional part of minus 0.45 and the fractional part of minus 5.12. Okay. I want to tell one point here while handling the negative part. Every time doing like this type, it is not the major question for any objective question. Every time doing like this may takes the time. If you observe the end result here in this process, what we are getting is minus 2.34 fractional part. We can deal like this 1 minus 0.34. When you write 1 minus 0.34, the answer is 0.66 only. And this also we can deal like this 1 minus 0.45. 1 minus 0.45 is what? 0.55. And this also we can deal like this 1 minus 0.12. 1 minus 0.12 is nothing but what? 0.88. Why can't we use this logic every time instead of doing this work? Of course, it is a proper and theoretical approach, and here we got a short technique. See, minus of 1.45 if you want means instead of doing this whole thing, simply 1 minus 0.45 and here 1 minus 0.12. So when we will use this one when we have negative real number. So okay students, now observe, by looking at all these different examples, that means we are given the inputs, we are given the positive integers, we are given the negative integers, and we are given the positive real numbers and negative real numbers. We observed so many things. If you give 0 for suppose x as 0, then fractional part of 0 is also equals to 0. What I am trying to tell is, for this fractional part of x, we can give any input. When we can give any input, then we can declare the domain of the function is the set of real numbers. So it is also a R club member. See. Now while giving the inputs, the outputs, what type of outputs we are getting, if we observe the previous examples, we will get a decimal number which lies in between 0 and 1. So that's why range of this function can be taken as fractional part always lies in between 0 to 1. So that we can write it as in between 0 comma 1. So when 0 will come? When we are dealing with the integers. So this is the domain and range. Now students, with the help of this domain and range, we will try to draw the graph of this fractional part of the function. So now we will take x-axis and y-axis. Because domain is on the set of real numbers means we can take all the values. It goes up to infinity. On the other side, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4 and so on. So now clearly here we can keep a line 1. So because the output, if you observe, see, always stays on y-axis. The output is always in between 0 and 1. Now here will come, so when you give x as 0, y is also 0. Here is the point. So now in between 0 and 1, so if you observe, see, if x is 0, y is 0. X is 0.1, then y is 0.1. X is 0.2, then y is 0.2. X is 0.3, y is 0.3. X is equals to 1, y is equals to 0. So got this point? See, if x equals to 0.1, then y means what? This one. So y is equals to 0.1 only. X equals to 0.2, then y is also 0.2. Like that, whatever input you will give, the same output will be generated. So next, if I give x equals to 1 all in sudden, x equals to 1 means y value becomes 0. So that means in between 0 and 1, whatever input you will give, the same output is coming. If input and output both are same, it will be an identity function. And identity function graph, we know that a line passing through the origin. So that means here we will get a straight line which passes through the origin. In this direction it will go up to here. So it will go up to here. And when x is exactly equals to 1, y is not equals to 1. So here we will get a air bubble. So when x is exactly equals to 1, y value is 0. So 0 means it falls on this one. Now we will take the values in between 1 and 2. If x is 1.1, So then y is what? 0.1. So comes here. X is 1.2. Y is 0.2. Because fractional part only we need to pick. That means again here what happens? We will get a straight line which is parallel to this one again. It will go up to here. So a straight line actually. It will go up to here. When exactly at 2, so here we will get a bubble. And when x becomes 2, y becomes 0. That means we know the point C. When x is integer, y is always 0 means everywhere we can keep a dark circle here now. Now we can identify, so here the graph will go like this next up, and here we will get a air bubble exactly, and it will go like this, here we will get a air bubble. This is the reference. On the other side, if we come the same thing, one second. So here I made a mistake. So other side if you take, you will get like this. It is not equal here. So everywhere the lines are parallel to each other. Exactly here. Here we will take a bubble, and here we will get a line, and here we will get a bubble, and here we will get a line. So this is your graph. Now by looking at the graph, you tell me, is fractional part function is periodic or not? So again students, if we observe the graph of fractional part of a function, the graph is repeating for every length of 1 unit. That's why we can call fractional part function is a periodic function with the fundamental period 1. So note down the question. Find the domain of the function fractional part of sine inverse of x. Now while finding the domain, if you observe, outside we have fractional part of a function and inside sine inverse x function. The outside function is real club member, means whose domain is real numbers. Then we need domain of sine inverse x. Now sine inverse x domain. So what is the domain of sine inverse x? Minus 1 to 1. So domain of sine inverse x is minus 1 to 1 is your domain of the entire question.